Hey guys, what's going on? I just wanted to get on here real quick and talk a little bit about trading within ranges. An old mentor of mine used to say that we're either growing or shrinking. There's no status quo. And that was a business back in the day. He used to say your business is growing or shrinking, you know? And I used to kind of listen to him, kind of not listen to him. But then I started thinking about what we did for work. And I was in mortgage, and rates would trade within a range, let's say 6 to 6.5. I know that's not what they are these days. They're in the threes or something like that. But, between 6 and 6.5, depending on the time of day you lock and what's going on in the marketplace. Well, I started thinking about that, and life is a lot like that. We trade within ranges, and our habits determine those ranges. So let's just talk, for example, I got a lot of clients that'll come in and they'll say, I want to be 135 again. The reality of being 135 pounds again and being there indefinitely is really slim to none. There's really no you'll be 135 forever. If you were to weigh yourself every single day throughout the day in and day out for like 2 weeks, you would not be any one number. You'd be somewhere between, let's say, 135 and 140 or 130, 135. And it's the habits that kind of depict the range at which your weight will move. The same with our personal development. You want to think about, like, I want to be a better person. I want to be genuinely more happy. Well, we need to read to develop. So if we read 5 pages a day, those are new habits that can raise the range. So let's talk about it. Let's say you're on cruise control on the highway and you're going 55 to 75. Well, you want to go faster, you can raise the cruise control up, and you're probably going to be somewhere, let's just say between 70 and 75. In order to do that, you have to accelerate on the gas to increase the engine speed to make your car go faster. Now, even on cruise control, if you're set at like 75, let's say, there's going to be traffic ahead. You're going to have to come off cruise control, go back onto cruise control. So again, you're still going to be somewhere between, let's say, 70 and 80 miles per hour. So everything kind of trades within a range. Your weight, your personal development. Think about your bank account. It just doesn't sit at, $4,000. It goes 4,000 to 2,000, back to 5,000, back to 3,000. Everything's trading within a range. And your bank account would be depicted by your income. So if you only make $2,000 a month, right, then your bank account's not going to really trade within an average greater than 2,000, maybe say 1,500 to 2,500, depending on when you're paid and what bills are coming into play. And in order to increase your bank account, you're going to have to increase your income. And in order to increase your income, you're going to have to develop some new habits to create some new business. So all this is always depicted by your habits. Like, what level of habits are you at? If you're at level 3 habits, you're going to trade within a level 3 range on any said particular adventure, whether it be your weight training. Let's talk about that for a minute since we're all into lifting weights. Let's say my deadlift, for example. I have a PR of a 385 pound deadlift. That was one particular day at one particular time. I picked it up and I was able to lift 385 pounds. If I attempted that same lift a couple minutes later, it's very likely that because the conditions had changed, I wouldn't be able to pick it up. It's possible that I would have been able to pick up 5 pounds more, all depending on the situation. So I don't have an absolute deadlift PR. At one point, I lifted 385. If I were to try to max out today, that could be 370. It could be 395. I really don't know, but there's a range at which I'm comfortable lifting a max effort deadlift, somewhere between 370 and 390 most likely, depending on the conditions of the day. We just did a terrible 16.4 with 55 deadlifts, so if I tried to do it today, I'd probably be on the smaller end of the scale, and I know that, and I can prepare for that. Now, if I wait, couple weeks, my back's feeling really, really good. It doesn't hurt right now, but let's just say I didn't just deadlift 55 times on Saturday and I got a great night's sleep and I ate, then I might be up at the 390 range. Who knows? Because it's the conditions of that day. So what am I trying to really get across right now is simply this. Life is about ranges, and our ranges are depicted by our habits. If you get better habits, then you can change the range that you trade in. For 4 years, I've been somewhere between 162 and 172. And it's all depending on what I choose to eat and how I choose to train. And that varies on a day-to-day basis, weight-wise. Again, strength. What if I'm trying to increase my strict press over the last 8 weeks? I trained specifically for that, and I went from 128 to 140, but I might not be able to do 140 today. even though I did it yesterday, I'll probably be within, a couple pounds based on what I've done over the last 8 weeks, the habits and the work that I put in. So, life again is it's really about ranges and no absolutes. And I think we hold way too tightly to absolutes, to this like, I need to be 135 pounds or I need to deadlift 300 pounds, and I was able to deadlift 300 pounds on Friday, but that was 2 weeks ago. And today I can't even pick up 275. And oh my God, the world's going to end. Not really. The reality is we're always within a range. We're either growing or shrinking, and it's our habits that determine that. So what habits can you work on every single day to raise and elevate your range in specific areas? Now, but be careful. I want to put a little caveat into this. You have to be very, very careful. Because if you focus too specifically on a couple areas and you're changing habits in a couple areas, it's very possible that a couple other areas might kind of trend to the lower end of the range. So the great question and the great, what I want to say, the thing that I'm looking for is, how can I keep my equalizer equal on all the areas that I really cherish? Family, business, my fitness, my social life, my spiritual life, all those things are very important to me. How do I keep them within acceptable ranges? And if I have a pursuit of any one specific goal, how do I pursue that goal without allowing those ranges to dip below measures that I find acceptable? And the answer is habits. Like, what kind of habits do I have in my life? And then last thing that I'm going to say is habits. When you're trying to implement a new habit, 85% success rate if you just try to implement one over a 30-day period. If you try to do two at a time, it's 33%. If you try to do three, it's 10%. So just focus on one habit at a time. Do that habit every single day for 30 days. Evaluate its effectiveness. Change it to work for you, and then continue to do it. And once you wake up and you don't think about it and do it, then add in a new habit. So your life is about ranges, and it's all about trading within ranges, and it's the habits that depict those ranges. So if you want to elevate a range of any one specific thing in your life, then work on focusing on a little habits that can make a big difference. Anyways, it's been a long time since I talked to you. Sorry for the 7-minute ramble, but life is about ranges, and you're responsible for those ranges, and it's based on your habits. So how can you pick up better habits so that your ranges look better for you?